Dwayne The Rock Johnson's life is not just a tale of fame, fortune, and success. It is a roaring anthem of redemption, resilience, and relentless perseverance, echoing far beyond the glitz of Hollywood and the roar of wrestling arenas. Before the bright lights, red carpets, and millions of adoring fans, there was a young man battling darkness, heartbreak, and the crushing weight of failure. Born into a wrestling family, expectations loomed heavy over Dwayne from the beginning, yet his path was anything but easy. Despite the lineage, there were no shortcuts. Life struck him hard and early. At just 15, he watched helplessly as his family was evicted, forced to leave their apartment with nowhere to go, his mother crying as they stood outside. Homeless, broken, and uncertain of tomorrow. That single moment imprinted itself into his soul and ignited a fire that would burn forever. But before the fire became strength, it would first burn through layers of insecurity, despair, and depression. Dwayne struggled to find his place in the world. He turned to football as a way out, pouring every ounce of pain and hope into the game. But life, again, had other plans. An injury shattered his NFL dreams, and he was cut from the Canadian Football League. In his early 20s, broke with only $7 in his pocket, living out of his car, and battling depression, it seemed like every door had slammed in his face. The world saw a failure, but Dwayne saw a moment of decision. And that's where the transformation began. He made a choice that would define everything: to stop waiting for life to be easy and start fighting like it never would be. That choice didn't immediately lead to success, but it led him forward. With his football dreams crushed, Dwayne returned to his roots, wrestling. But even there, the journey was not simple. He was initially rejected by fans, mocked with chants of "Die Rocky Die," and told he would never make it. Imagine being booed in front of thousands when all you want to do is succeed. Most would quit. But Dwayne, he adapted. He reinvented himself not by becoming someone else, but by becoming more of who he truly was: authentic, charismatic, electrifying. The Rock was born, not just a persona, but a symbol of transformation. With every match, every promo, every eyebrow raised, he built not just a wrestling legacy but a foundation of confidence, work ethic, and connection with the people. He didn't just entertain, he inspired. He took the pain of his past and converted it into power on stage, showing millions that no matter how hard life hits, you can hit back harder if you never stop moving. But even that was only the beginning. He could have stopped at wrestling and still been a legend. But Dwayne Johnson doesn't stop. He rises. He transitioned into Hollywood where, once again, skeptics doubted him. They said wrestlers couldn't act. They said he'd never be more than a muscular side character. They said audiences wouldn't take him seriously. So he did what he always does. He showed up, worked harder than anyone else, and turned every doubt into a milestone. He became a box office juggernaut, headlining billion-dollar franchises, producing films, creating television shows, and becoming one of the most beloved celebrities on earth. Not just because of his talent, but because of his authenticity. Fans connected to the man behind the muscles. The one who still remembered what it felt like to be broke. The one who never forgot the taste of failure. The one who used every scar as motivation. The one who wakes up at 4 a.m. to train. The one who calls his mother after every success. The one who smiles with gratitude because he knows exactly what it means to have nothing. Dwayne Johnson built his empire not on luck, but on a foundation of struggle. He became a world icon not because he was handed anything, but because he earned everything. He lives by values that are not taught in textbooks: discipline, consistency, humility, and heart. He transformed himself mentally, physically, and emotionally. Not for fame, but for freedom. The freedom to live life on his terms, to create opportunities for others, and to stand as living proof that your rock bottom doesn't have to be your end. It can be your beginning. Every step of the way, he turned no into next. He didn't get bitter, he got better. He didn't run from pain, he used it. He didn't hide from failure, he embraced it as his teacher. Whether it was in the ring, on set, or in real life, Dwayne kept showing up when others gave up. That's the secret. Not magic, not luck, not connections. Just showing up. Showing up for yourself, for your dreams, for your future, every single day. And through that, he became not just a hero on screen, but a hero to millions in life. His story teaches us that you are never too lost to be found, never too broken to be rebuilt, never too far gone to rise again. He is proof that pain is not your prison, it is your forge. Your failures are not your finale, they are your foundation. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to believe that your story is not over. Because Dwayne Johnson's life didn't turn around when things got easier. It turned around when he got stronger. And that strength didn't come from success. It came from the fight. It came from losing everything and refusing to lose himself. It came from every early morning workout, every late night grind, every disappointment turned into discipline. Today, he's not just The Rock. He's a mountain of example for anyone who's ever felt like giving up. For every dreamer with empty pockets and heavy hearts. For every soul who's ever slept in their car wondering if life will ever change. For every person told they're not good enough, talented enough, smart enough, Dwayne's life screams, yes, you are. You're more than enough. You just have to keep going. Because the storm you're in right now is shaping you into the person who can rise above it. The pain you feel is preparing you for a purpose far greater than your past. And like The Rock, you can use that pain as your power. You can rise from nothing. You can rebuild your identity. You can turn rejection into fuel. You can go from depression to domination. From homeless to hopeful. From forgotten to unforgettable. Just like he did. Not by waiting for a miracle, but by becoming one. By showing the world that no matter where you start, it's how you finish that matters. And when you finish with heart, nothing can stop you. Dwayne Johnson's story is not just inspiration, it's instruction. A living manual of what happens when discipline meets desire, when hustle meets heart, and when pain meets purpose. He didn't just climb the mountain, he became it. And now he stands tall, not to look down on others, but to lift them up, to remind them that they, too, can rise. So if you're lost right now, if you're stuck, if you're tired, remember The Rock. Remember the boy with $7 in his pocket who didn't see failure, he saw fuel. Who didn't give up, he got up. Who didn't get lucky, he got relentless. And in that, there's a lesson for us all. That your greatest setback might be the start of your greatest comeback. That no matter how dark it gets, you are not finished. You are just beginning. And one day, you'll look back, like Dwayne Johnson, and say, those moments didn't break me. They built me. And that is how legends are made. But success, especially the kind that rewrites your destiny, never walks in through the front door. It often waits in the shadows, testing your patience, grit, and how fiercely you're willing to believe in yourself when the world refuses to. For Dwayne, after being cut from the CFL and watching his dreams of football collapse like a house of cards, there were days he would stare at the ceiling in his tiny room, wondering if he had peaked at 23. There was $7 in his pocket, a figure he would talk about countless times in his future, not as a complaint but as a reminder of how far one can go when they have nothing but raw fire inside. That kind of brokenness either buries you or transforms you. And for Dwayne, it became the seed of reinvention. He made a promise to himself that day. He would never be that broke again, not just financially but emotionally and spiritually. So he picked himself up, trained harder than ever, and looked to a world he once rejected, wrestling. Not because it was easy or glorious, but because deep down, he knew it was where his real story might begin. Returning to wrestling wasn't glamorous. The crowd booed him, mocked his smile, and chanted insults. They saw a man trying to fill someone else's boots, not a man with his own path. But Dwayne didn't just wear the pain, he used it. He evolved. The Rock was born not from applause, but from rejection. Every sneer sharpened his charisma. Every insult became fuel. He began crafting a persona that wasn't just a character, but a mirror of his fight. Bold, funny, unpredictable, larger than life, yet deeply human. As The Rock, he redefined wrestling charisma, delivering electrifying speeches and unforgettable moments that resonated beyond the ring. Suddenly, the man who once had only $7 to his name was now headlining global events, proving that when you trust your transformation, the world can't ignore your rise. But he didn't stop there. He understood something most never grasp. Success isn't about reaching the top, it's about how many times you're willing to rebuild yourself after hitting the bottom. Hollywood came next, and once again, the doubts followed. A wrestler can't act. He's just muscles, no talent. Casting directors turned him down. Roles were limited. But Dwayne didn't shrink, he adapted. He studied, took small roles, showed up on time, and proved himself not with arrogance, but with relentless consistency. He turned every no into motivation. Slowly, the world began to notice. Not just the physique, but the heart, the humor, the screen presence. From action roles to heartfelt comedies, he shattered every box Hollywood tried to put him in. And suddenly, he wasn't just in movies. He was the movie. The kid who was once evicted from his home, laughed off the football field, booed in the ring, had now become one of the highest paid, most bankable stars in the world. But what made his journey legendary wasn't just the fame or fortune, it was the humility with which he carried his scars. He never let people forget the boy with $7. He wore that memory like armor, a symbol that no matter where you start, you can rise, if you refuse to quit. Today, Dwayne Johnson is more than an icon. He's a blueprint for turning pain into power. He speaks to millions about resilience, mental health, family, and legacy. His empire stretches across film, fitness, tequila, production, and philanthropy. But what truly resonates is his story. Because it reminds us that greatness isn't reserved for the lucky. It belongs to those who embrace their lowest points and keep moving. He didn't just overcome his tragedies. He transformed them into a platform that now inspires the entire world. He shows us that success isn't just about what you win, but about what you survive. That when your dreams collapse, you don't. You stand up, shift your vision, and build again, better, bolder, and more you than ever before. That is the true power of Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Not just a man of strength, but a man who teaches us that even the most shattered beginnings can lead to the most unbreakable endings.